Y'all know what fucking time it is! A Hunter and Amity episode?
I'll take 20!
This episode right here is the perfect episode to kick off the new month. Honest to God, I think this episode might have had the most insane start to any episode of the series to date. And by start, I mean the sections that happened prior to the theme song. We see Belos in the castle basement tinkering with the human realm portal some more. Unfortunately, even with the help of the Blight's Abomaton soldiers, the door won't open due to the lack of the main key. Hunter and Little Rascal were listening in on this failed attempt as well, and Belos overhears them. Thankfully, our little buddy was able to hide in time so Belos wouldn't consume him. Guarantee he would have wanted to if he saw him. So they really just casually dropped a Belos face reveal, huh? Yeah, sure, why not? He looks a lot more normal than I thought he would, but I'm sure that's his toned down form thanks to talisman magic. First thing that caught my eye was Belos does in fact have pointed ears, which more or less deconfirms Belos and Philip Woodabane being the same person. Now I feel like kind of a dumbass after what I talked about in my last video. I was certain that he and Philip were the same person, but well, win some, lose some. Not only that, but he has the same slit in his ear as Hunter, both in the left ear too. With a closer look at Belos' hair, it's shaded in the exact same way as Hunter's too. Even though Hunter said Belos found him, all these similarities with their physical appearance is making me believe in the fact they are related by blood more than I already did. The thing about Belos' ears though is even though they're pointed, they look a lot smaller compared to the standard Boiling Isles resident ear, around the same size as Luz's in fact, which is making me take the side of Belos being a relative or descendant of Philip instead. This is further backed up by Belos telling Hunter he actually went to the human realm before. So either Belos had a freak experience with Titan's blood like Philip did, but just on the other side of the realms, or a young Belos was brought there on a family vacation of sorts with the Woodabane family that was a generation ahead of him. Belos was weirdly soft-spoken while telling the story too. He seemed genuinely passionate about the unique beauty of Earth. He almost felt like a different person with that mask off. I like it a lot though. It makes his character a lot more complex than I thought he might be, and once again making me raise more eyebrows about his past since the last time we saw him. But this doesn't change the fact that his intentions are heinous. Talking about how everyone has a purpose / a way to be useful, only saying how the Titan has big plans for Hunter to his face as well, giving off the vibes that these big plans will be less than enjoyable for Hunter, which I still believe to be the case if Belos isn't Philip. Belos uses this smooth talk as a way to keep Hunter away from Kikimora's mission at the knee to get Titan's blood, which is the last ingredient needed to get the portal door open. Titan's blood is what powers the current key. However, Hunter is determined to go out there anyway to prove his use and make up for his mistake last time. I do want to gloss over the book shown in Belos' pile of things though. It's open on 2 pages detailing various artifacts used to create something called a Grim Walker. There's a Galderstone, Palistrom wood, and Stone Sleeper lungs. It appears if these 3 ingredients in particular are fused together, they can create a living creature of some kind. A living creature with the exact same eyes as Hunter. Bro, if Hunter is just some puppet / doll Belos created using his DNA and all these other weird ingredients found around the Isles, like, I don't know how I would feel about that, to be straight up honest with you. I don't know how I would feel about that. Is that why he treats him like ass when he fails? Because he doesn't even see him as a true person, just a clone of him? Maybe Creepy Luz is one of these Grimwalkers too. We have yet to see her eyes. The question of how she actually got to Earth still remains though. This is, my god, this is just such a scary timeline, but scary in a good way, of course. Back at the Owl House, Luz is sick with the common mold, so Ida, King, Hootie, Amity, Willow, and Gus are all there trying to take care of her. We get to see Amity's talisman, Ghost the cat, too. Fitting name considering his wife. Fun fact, my roommate's cat is also named Ghost. I wonder if we could sue for that. I kid, of course. Really nice seeing Amity get so involved with the safety of the Owl House, too. She's such a good GF. And we were given a little Dragon Ball Z reference from when Ida was trying to transform into her harpy form on command that debuted last episode. Funny to see Dragon Ball getting referenced in both Amphibia and the Owl House now. The episode eventually cuts to Luz going through it pretty hard because of the mold sickness. Even more so when the Echo Mouse plays more memories from Phil's journal, talking about how he went to a place called Eclipse Lake to harness Titan's blood so he could create the human realm portal. Luz herself gets all hyper wanting to go, but because she's still sick, Amity, Ida, and King offer to go in her place. Kikimora is already at the knee when they arrive, so they try to find the best way to sneak in. Not before running into Hunter in disguise though, since he's got the same idea as them. Ida quickly recognizes his voice, so he's forced to accompany them on the rest of the quest thanks to Amity tying him up with abomination magic. Later on in the mission, Amity gets a seemingly ominous text from Luz that Hunter thinks spells out, "Come back with Titan's blood or we're done." Very cute how they're texting with this world's version of Tamagotchi too. This leads to Hunter trying to level with Amity about how similar their approach to life is, always wanting to prove themselves to the people they care about / the people that see value in them, afraid that if they don't, they'll lose those people forever. Amity had that issue with her parents, always pushing Amity to her limits, forcing her to be friends with strong witchlings even if she didn't like them, all to eventually join the Emperor's Coven / become a coven leader. And because she hasn't gotten over this need to please caused by her parents, it's transferring over to her relationship with Luz. More so now because they're dating and because of what Hunter said. He unwillingly convinced Amity this is what Luz is saying, even though she'd never give an ultimatum like that. That's just not her personality. Then cut to Luz seeing another entry from Philip's journal, highlighting how he encountered what's known as Fool's Blood on his way to Eclipse Lake, which forced him to retreat and lose some of his companions along the way. Hunter actually knows about Fool's Blood himself and tries to warn Ida about taking it. She of course doesn't listen, which ends up getting her and King stuck in between a chasm. As Kikimura is about to catch up to the rest of the gang, Hunter pleads with Amity to untie him so he can at least escape, in fear of getting replaced. It's honestly crazy how Hunter can technically be replaced if Belos just gets more Grimwalker ingredients. He just doesn't want to because it's a hassle with the Day of Unity being so close and all. It's the same thing with Rain. I'm still on the Hunter being a sacrifice for the Titan team though, even if Belos isn't Philip. With Belos being a potential descendant of Philip being more likely after we saw his face, that means he cloned Hunter with his own part human, part witch DNA, so he wouldn't have to be the sacrifice, but the clone instead. Amity agrees to untie Hunter, but he insta-double-crossed her so he could get the Titan blood first. But thanks to Ida finally figuring out how to turn into Harpy Ida on command, they were able to focus on the mission again. Really happy to see Ida properly communicating with the Owl Beast now too. It gives me big Naruto and Kurama vibes. Amity and King are able to catch up to Hunter at Eclipse Lake, only to find Hunter digging his own grave due to all the Titan blood being gone or dried up. He figured if he can't prove himself useful to Belos this time, then there's no one going back. He will get replaced. Then he proceeds to rant about how this is just how life is. Everyone has use, and if you don't, then there's just no point in existing. Hunter eventually breaking this mindset and finding people who value him as a person is going to be so huge for his character, especially if he ends up being a clone. Hunter being a Grimwalker would make it even harder to break this mindset if he finds out about it too, feeling like his existence serves no purpose other than being a Titan sacrifice and being created solely as a Titan sacrifice. It's gonna be a very emotional day when Luz and the rest of the gang take him as he is. This ranting gets Amity to look at the message again, only this time sideways, giving the message whole new meaning, showing Luz was just calling Amity rad and warning her about the Fool's Blood. Amity levels with Hunter how it's possible to find people out there who won't make you feel worthless, you just gotta look. Unfortunately, he's not ready to change quite yet. I mean, this is only his third major episode after all. Can't make it too quick. Noticing the portal key on Amity's neck, he goes for a quick swipe at it, but misses. Cue the new best fight in the series. Maybe that's a hot take, but the choreography in this fight, it was something else. Seeing Hunter adapt on the fly fighting with his new talisman, I like how he's still using teleportation a lot, just like when he fought Kikimura, though he's not as good at controlling authentic talisman quite yet. Nonetheless, he puts up a pretty good fight against Amity, and Amity's use of abomination magic has improved tenfold since we last saw her use it extensively, turning her abomination goo into a gauntlet to punch Hunter, trapping him in a bubble, and sharpening the edges to cut him. This fighting style reminded me a lot of how Darius fights. All we need to see Amity do now is use the abomination magic on herself, and then she'll be on par, if not better than Darius. Amity high-key would have beat Hunter too if Hunter didn't threaten harming Luz at the end, forcing Amity to hand over the portal key, but not before cracking it a little. Hunter takes off, attempting to show genuine appreciation for what Amity did. I believe he was being sincere too. Although they're fighting for the opposite sides, she still helped him get what he wants so he doesn't have to worry about Belos replacing him. The episode ends with Hunter looking at the cracked portal key leaking Titan's blood. Considering he doesn't seem too wigged out about it, I guess he's assuming it still works because there's still some in there. And Hunter pointing out how Little Rascal stuck with him the whole time is super deep when you think about it too. That little talisman is the first being who's giving Hunter the time of day regardless of how he performs in missions and how he performs with his magic. His first true friend. I'm telling you, Hunter's gonna go on a total downward spiral if Belos consumes that talisman. I know what they're trying to do, dude. They're trying to slowly bring out his soft side and give him a more reasonable mindset on how to live life on his own, just to break him down when he's getting close. And Luz will be the only one who can save him from the point of no return. I'm curious what you guys thought of this episode. Is it your new favorite episode of all time, favorite of season 2, or did you not like it that much? I'm not quite sure if I like this episode more than Hunting Talisman yet or not. It's close for sure though. It's definitely really high up there. What about Hunter though, huh? You guys think he's a clone? I feel like that book made it pretty obvious. I don't know, man. You know, just legit theory crafting new convoluted scenarios every time there's an episode involving Hunter and Belos. It never gets old. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like down below. It helps me out a ton. But for now, I will see you guys next time. Peace out. Take care. Bye-bye.